Wednesday, right? Happy Wednesday, you guys. Welcome to the Daily Nail. My name is Tara. I'm actually prepped. I already have my dip off and my peel base on, and it's probably dry. So let me just see if the live is up yet on YouTube. I fixed my tablet. I just had to reset the entire thing and it turned back on. So okay, YouTube. Give me 1 second here. We're gonna do a dip powder mani with 2 dips from Luxie nail, and I might use striping tape too. Oh, I'm so slow. Come on, tablet. Oh no. You went to a voice search. Okay. Here I am. Rock you like a hurricane. That's what came into my head. Here I am. Hi, Lara. Oh my God. I almost texted you yesterday because I had to know this. Because you were at Columbia University's graduation last week. I heard this morning that the president of Columbia got booed during her commencement speech. Is that true? Since you were there, I figured I'd ask first-hand knowledge. How are you, girl? All right, yeah, they are dry. Colors we're going to use. This one dip, the foil dip here, it's called Cotton Candy Sky. It looks like it's in a white base, but once it's on nude nails, it gives like a pinkish hue to it. And then it has pink and aqua foils, Italian foils. You can really only see the pink in there. And then I'm going to sugar floss, which is an aqua, and then maybe some pink striping tape. Hey, Britt. How are you? I'm so sorry if you guys were here yesterday. I didn't have my tablet working. I had to like stick a pin, little hole on the side. All right, my nails are ready to go. So I think I'm gonna do the glitter, the foil, and it's so pretty too, on my index and middle nail, and I'll do sugar floss on the other 3. And it's still a glitter, but it's like a matte type glitter. Well, no, it's sparkly, but not super sparkly. I'm gonna pour it in, and it's gonna go on the thumb, ring, and pinky. Hold on, I see something in there. I don't know if it's like unbroken dip or if it's whatever it is, I'm getting rid of it. Okay. I got a little bump in my mat here. There we go. That's better. Okay. How are you guys doing? Oh, okay, Lara. All right. How was it? It was good, right? Oh, really? I wonder if that's why. If that's what it was about. You must be so proud. That's a huge accomplishment, you know? All right, let's open up our base coat. We're using Cotton Candy Sky and Sugar Floss. Start with our pinky. What are you up to today, Britt and Lara? It's supposed to be 75 degrees here today. So I have all my windows open. Feels nice. 70 out right now. These tips got to be replaced too. They're growing out. All right, ring finger's going to be green too, I said, right? Yeah. For Luxie's anniversary, I think 2 years ago. But they're some of my favorites. I love this color combination, the pink and the aqua. I think I showed you guys this, but I'm wearing my cyan moissanite ring. So that's a 2-carat cyan moissanite. Certain moissanites can be grown in colors, and cyan is one of them. Blue and green, they come in champagne, black. Those are the only ones that you can get natural, but they'll make them like coated in other colors. Anyway, and then it has 0.4 carat side stones on either side. But this ring was only $16.30. It's like a steal. But they have green moissanites, Britt. You should see them. You would love them, Miss Green Lover. I'm not big on the black moissanite because it doesn't sparkle. It looks like onyx or something, you know. It does have like a shine to the surface of it, but it doesn't sparkle. All right. Clean them off. Try and brush off over. Let me move this out of the way. All right. I'll try and brush off over. Oh, that didn't work out so well. That was a little better. These are just going to make a mess, I think. I'm going to have to give them some time to dry before I brush off the hair. Can't be too anxious. Look how pretty. Such a gorgeous color. All right, so we're doing layer number 2 right now. I don't know if I told you guys, but Dominic broke the downstairs door. We live on the 2nd floor, right? So, like, we have our own entrance, and there's, like, you know, a screen door, and then there's the main door that you put the lock into. The main door had a glass window, which I really didn't like. I don't really like the idea of glass there, you know, because I could just, like, break it and unlock the door. But, it is what it is, you know, so... Anyway, Dominic was going downstairs and I was upstairs. This happened weeks ago. And he said he opened the door and he opened it so hard that it hit the wall behind it. And he said the glass broke. But it was weird. It looked kind of like... I'm not saying he punched it because his hand wasn't damaged at all. But it wasn't like all the pieces were out of it or anything. So, and it happened like the week before they were getting married. So he said he wouldn't be able to replace the door till after they got back from their honeymoon. And I was like, that's fine. I told him I did it though. I told him I fell and I tripped and I put my arm out and hit the door. I don't know. I didn't want him to get mad at Dominic, you know. I mean, it's my job to protect them, so take the blame. But so in the meantime, our landlord put like a piece of like board over where the glass was, you know, and like screwed it in, piece of wood. So that's what we've had. Now there's a wasp nest right above our door. We have like a little eave, I don't know what you call it, but like a little porch covering when you step outside the door at the steps, and there's a wasp nest up in it, under it. Hi, Patty. Oh, what happened, Brett? You're wearing. There's also blue moissanite. I have a blue moissanite. Oh, I can't wait. I want to see the videos. She's adorable. She's like all of our babies, Britt. All of our baby. And it's good because your sister still gets to see her too, you know. Patty might come live with me. I said to her, "Hey, do you maybe want to come live with me Wednesday or Thursday?" She's like, "I don't know. I'll let you know." I'm like, "We can do Cosmic Mayonnaise." And then I'm like, "Well, as soon as you know, like, an idea on the day, let me know because tomorrow's Wednesday. You know what I mean?" Um, no, today's Wednesday, right? Oh yeah, that's why. Because she comes and she's like, probably Friday, and I'm thinking I offered Wednesday or Thursday, but today's Wednesday. My days are off because of the holiday on Monday, you guys. Sorry, Patty. I thought you were I was gonna say dumb one, but it was me. She's mad you changed her name. Wait a minute. Oh, what is her name? I forget. And what was it? What is it? What was it? You have a right to change her name, though. People do that with older dogs, you know, which I think is probably way more difficult. I don't even know who was here yesterday because I didn't have my tablet running. All right, let's see. Gentle. I love this because it's. I just love how it looks. The glitter. It's like a matte glitter with some sparkle. I'm trying to make it as little mess as possible here. That's why I'm brushing off like this. You'll hear everything happening outside too. It's like day 22 of the Karen retrial. Like the medical examiner marked labeled the cause of death as undetermined, but they're still charging her with murder. Which is pretty crazy. And then they have a hung jury and decide to try her again. I've never really seen like somebody framed like in action, it happening on TV like this. All right, let me brush this off. I'm trying to not cross-contaminate anything if I can help it. So we have 3 nails done with sugar floss. This is the swatch of, I'll show you the 2 dips we're using right here. So this is sugar floss that I just used, and then this is cotton pink. It gets darker with multiple layers, and then I don't know, because of the sheerness of it and the pink of your skin, it looks more pink with pink and aqua foil. So Cotton Candy Sky. See, oh yeah, see how pink it looks in the jar? Oh my God, there's a hair in it. Okay, I got it. I don't think I've ever had a bottle of base coat last me so long, you guys. That's how much less I've been doing my nails. All right. I didn't even do them over the weekend. I planned on it. Long weekend, too. So I'm still walking around with my jacked up right hand. Look at these foils. The good thing about these Italian foils is they don't break down the way that regular foils do, see? They kind of hold up a little bit better. Oh, I wanted those to stick. Damn it. And the pink base dip has a shimmer to it. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous dip. One of my favorites right here. Yeah, so remember I was telling you guys about my Reddit post? Yeah, so it was the mani with the cherries I did. And it was like people that they were insisting to me that my nails were glued to my fingers. I'm like, look, I don't have that flap of skin, meaning like the cuticle that other people have. I mean, not everybody's hands are the same, you know. I don't, or either I remove it or it's just not there on my nails. That thick piece of skin, you know. I mean, I have a little bit of skin but I push it back, and then if there's any overhang, I trim it. And then my nails go all the way up to the top. You know, you guys know I'm not gluing them on my skin, obviously, especially after 5 years of doing my own nails. So I was very polite, answering all the mean comments, you know. And then I checked it a couple days later. I went back on for the moissanite, but there in my notifications there was all the negative comments were deleted. There were a few positive, but the negative far outweighed. So the moderator commented and said like she was embarrassed or whatever. I don't know if I told this story yesterday. She apologized to me for the negative comments, said they went like against their rules. She was embarrassed and she was so sorry or whatever. And I thanked her and I told her I appreciated her. And then the very next day, I wake up to more negative comments on the same post that the moderators hadn't gotten to yet, you know? So that's when I was like, fuck this. I took the post down and created a new post, which I don't even know if they left up. And then I left the Dip Powder Nails group subreddit or whatever. And I just said, you know, I put a post up here. I said, I got so much hate. You guys are all so mean. I said, I won't be back here. Just to let them know. Nick's like, no, then they win. You're letting them know they win. I'm like, no, I want them to know they're assholes, you know? I have plenty of other places to share my manis. Hi, Leah. I don't think they do, Janet. I mean, Britt, you know what I mean? Because, I mean, these people who are posting, I see their manis and they're DIYers like who we were when we started out dipping our natural nails. You know what I mean? They're asking basic questions like, how do I get my top coat to dry, you know, clear or whatever, you know? How do I get my nails to not lift? And, oh, yeah, and they were commenting between themselves, too, before I seen the first batch of mean. Oh yeah, she must have crazy lifting on her nails. Does this look like fucking crazy lifting to you, you guys? You know what I mean? How many weeks has this been on? Give me a break. It hurt my feelings though. You know, people got to think about what they're saying and at least follow the rules in the group that you agreed to those rules when you joined. And people's, I would never. I'm going to pat these down. I'm definitely going to want to hand place a few foils down near the bottom of this nail too, just to balance it out. Am I in frame? Look at it. It's going to all match my cyan ring. All right, let me give this a shake. I want to get more foils near the top here. There we go. We got some up there. There we go. I don't know if I can reach them. These foils are expensive. It's like I don't want to lose any of them. They fancy foils, ladies. So you guys don't know, but Patty's having her two granddaughters stay with her. One's like 18 or 19, and the other is 15, I think. Or 14? 15, I think. This one got a lot of foils. She said she was going to be driving, so she might not be able to type. But they're both living with her, so she's got a house full now. Raising kids again. All right, let me grab a cuticle stick. I'm going to place some base down here and just, I want to add some foils. Okay. All right, that's good. How pretty. So pretty. And this one is Cotton Candy Sky, in case you forgot. I gotta be careful, this nail's wet at the bottom. I'm gonna stick it in some clear real quick. Okay, let's encapsulate. I don't have a clear from Luxie nail, clear acrylic, but so I'm using Hypnotic nails today. I bumped it twice. Look at that. All right. I hate when I bump it on the clear of all things. Who's here? Oh, and Malibu. Hi. Oh, I already said hi to you, Aaliyah. How are you, girl? Oh, my mother's grandmother was like, she would never do anything for me unless I did something in return, like gave her money, you know. Um, but my father's mother, my meme, I have very fond memories of her taking care of us. She used to watch us before and after school. She used to make our lunches and our breakfast for us, and our school lunches, I mean, you know, pack our lunches every day for us. That's when I was only eating pepperoni and mustard sandwiches every day in like sixth and seventh grade. All right. Get these sealed in. I want to protect these foils for sure from filing. The thing about these foils, like, well, most foils, yeah, it won't matter. Even if I were to file any of it away, you know, they would say that stay the same color anyway, but I don't want to file any of them away. So I always put a layer of clear over everything. Oh my God. So remember I told you guys that I ordered some clothes for Nick and Dominic from AliExpress, and I ordered them in US sizes. So everything came except for like a few things yesterday, and the two pairs of shorts I got two like of the same uh, brand shorts, but they were two different color, you know, each different colors. But the shorts, you guys, and they're size XXL. The waist, I no joke, is like 12 inches wide. It can stretch bigger, but when you let it go, it shrinks back down again. So even if you're wearing it, it's going to be digging into you. I'm like, there's no way this is an XXL. I'm like, even for a boy, I think that's too small. It was kind of crazy. I was going to send them back and get refunded, but they refunded me without the need to send them back. Probably because they were like four something each. But all the other stuff looks good. And we'll see how the stuff that hasn't arrived yet is when it does get here. Okay, we're just dipping our thumb in clear. We're doing a Luxie nail dip powder mani using two dips that were released a couple of years ago for Luxie Nail's birthday anniversary. We're using Cotton Candy Sky and Sugar Floss. Sugar Floss is the green color. Got a silver glitter in here. Must have came from my clear. Let's get it out. Okay. Gone. All right, now that we've brushed them off, I think I'm going to press these down because they are textured with a plastic bag, I mean. So we're going to activate now. That's what cures our dip, if you don't know. So it's a thin, somewhat strong smelling liquid. It doesn't burn my eyes or irritate my lungs or anything in any way. But there are people who have had reactions to dip liquids. That's called Dip Flu. Some people buy a mask to wear. Others switch to gel liquids, or there are some company liquids which are supposed to make it so you don't react, or for sensitive noses, you know. So I'm taking this shiny clear plastic bag and rolling it over the top of my nails, and what it's doing is giving me a nice smooth surface to these nails. Well, that's the goal anyway. It doesn't always work out perfectly. I'm not going to do that with these foil nails though. Well, maybe on the side over here, it's a little wonky. Okay, and then this thumb. I have some pink striping tape that might work on the green nails, or on the ring finger green nail, maybe. We'll see. I'll show it to you in a sec what it looks like. It's not a metallic pink. I don't think. It's like a glittery pink. Bag didn't do much. Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute, Aaliyah. So you guys have been close your entire life. Did she raise you? Or did your mom? You don't have to answer if that's too personal. I'm just cleaning out my flexi boats over here. Okay. All right. So once you activate, you just got to let these sit for at least 2 minutes to fully harden, and then we'll be ready to file them. This means it's vape break time. And this is the pink I have, you guys, that I was talking about. Let me show you. It's hard to tell. We'll have to try it. It might look more lilac. It might not. I kind of think it would work. We'll see. Probably because, Britt, your mom was young, you know what I mean, when she had you. And Aaliyah, was your mom young too? So I could see like grandma having to step into part of the role while mom, takes care of school or works or grows up. You are, Patty? Not so much your dad's side? I always felt like my father's side looked at my brother, sister, and me differently, because his whole side of the family was successful, owned houses, had good jobs, and my father was the deadbeat who would purposely work under the table job so he didn't have to pay child support, went to jail for non-payment of child support. He stole from family members, he was an alcoholic, weed addict, I guess. He was definitely addicted to pot. I don't know that he ever stole for that, but I don't know what he stole for, but he drove drunk with us plenty of times. We lived with him for 3 years after my parents separated. We lived in New Hampshire with my mother and her boyfriend, and he showed up one day on like a Friday and asked if we wanted to go back to Massachusetts to go see, his side of the family for the weekend. And we were like, yeah. And my mother was like hesitant, but she let us go because we were all excited. We hadn't seen our father in years. And he took us to Massachusetts to his girlfriend's house and never took us back to New Hampshire. So then my father's parents paid for a lawyer for him, and we were all excited to be with our dad. We were living in a nice duplex. And so at that point, we wanted to stay with our dad, except for my sister didn't. But the judge awarded custody to my father, and my mother was in New Hampshire, She had to move back to Massachusetts, get a job, find a place to live. It took 3 years, and then we ended up moving back in with her. By then, we were ready to move out of my father's because we saw what he was like. And then after that, after we went back to my mother's, I talked to him in person, I think once after that, and by letter once. And then I went to the trailer where he was living with no electricity or water, or no, it did have water, with no electricity. The floors were like plywood. After he died of cancer by himself. Oh my, how cruel. Bye, Lara. Wow. Do nothing of your own. I don't know how people can just be like that about their own children. You guys have no idea how hard it is for me with my boys, and they never respond to my messages. So then it's like, am I blocked? Or I never hear from them, And I don't know, should I keep messaging them? Are they sick of me? I don't know. And it's hard to keep messaging and then not getting anything in return. But life goes on, right? I have another child, so I used to just spend days, especially Mother's Day, for some years I didn't go out at all and I just stayed home feeling sorry for myself, laying in bed, crying. But I mean, what good does that do though? My boys don't care if I'm laying home crying or not. That's not going to change anything. And it's not fair to Dominic either for me to be sad all the time. So I try not to be. I try not to dwell on it, They're always in my mind, but I try to keep the thoughts fleeting. Yeah. Less and less people are having kids. Number one, they can't afford them. You're going to have a kid while you live with your parents for your whole life, I mean, you can never. Well, that's what we did. Okay, that looks good. Tara, are you here? Has she been here? Dominic and I are going to watch some more episodes of Invincible after school today. All right, that looks good. No Janet today? Hi, Tara. I was wondering if you were here. Were you here yesterday? You're always so quiet. What are you doing, Nels? Video gaming? Okay. I just want to make sure that's all smooth. Yeah, it feels good. That looks pretty good. Filing's going nice and easy. All right, let's see if I can do this. The bane of my existence, filing that thumbnail. All right. A little bit. Okay. All right, let's buff. Hopefully buffing will be okay for these glitter nails. Let's see. Oh, yeah. All right. Brush off. Get all this dust off of us. Clean up. Okay. Let's clean the nails. I have a nail brush and rubbing alcohol right here. It's I think it's 93% isopropyl. As long as it's 93 or higher, that's what we like to use for nails. Well, the reason for that actually is for slip solution. If you're using slip solution, you want it to be 93% or higher, I believe. Okay, so I don't know if it's going to stick. Let's see what it will look like. Let's see if it will stick. Get some scissors and some tweezers. Oh no, the white piece broke off. There we go. I think I'm putting 2 stripes across it. It's looking pretty well. Oh no, it ripped. Shoot. Try again. Here, we'll use tweezers this time. Like that. I actually really like it. Just got to trim the excess.
Dr. Welch, does that refresh your recollection as to the contract you signed on behalf of Actor with the company? So,
Okay.
it was the legal address as my office. So, yes. So, are you saying that therefore?
This, I think, is going to need a gel top coat. I think it will probably, the activator will probably remove the color off of that.
The contract relates
I'm gonna leave it like just like that. I like it. Do you guys like this? Hi, Jolene. Oh, thank you. It's Luxie now. Cotton candy sky and sugar floss, and then some pink glittery striping tape. Thank you so much. I really like it too. All right, let's do our gel on the ring finger so I don't mess up my striping tape with activator. So we're going to use gel base coat first. Okay. We'll cure that for 30 seconds and then we'll put a layer of gel top coat on. I was thinking of you, Jolene. All right, that was the 30 seconds. Now we have top coat.
Now, switching topics. Great. Luxie, you could have moved on earlier. That number is shocking.
I just want to cap my edges here so hopefully we don't have any peeling. Looks good. 60-second cure this time. And actually, once that 60 seconds is up, I'm going to flip my hand and cure it for like 15 seconds just to make sure the underside is also dry. And then once that's done, we'll reactivate the other 4 nails. We'll wait a few seconds, 30 seconds. Then we'll wipe them down and top coat them with dip top coat. Oh, I said I was thinking about you. Thinking about you because I have to send you fairy glamour dips. I'm so far behind on. I have bracelets I have to send Aaliyah. I know I have stuff I have to send Patty, Michelle, Brandis. I know Kendra wanted some of those cherries. All right. Activator. Okay, let's activate our other nails.
I appreciate the court interceded there and said, I would appreciate you not looking at things unless he might not be able to see what he's looking at.
It is funny how random strangers seem to know more about your hands and your fingers than you do yourself, right? About your own hand. Jolene, you missed it, but I know you're on Reddit in the Dip Powder Nails subreddit there. Well, I joined it and I shared, remember that red and white mani I did last week with the cherry stickers? I shared it and it got so much hate. People were insisting my tips were glued onto my skin, glued to my cuticles, glued to my sidewalls. One person commented like, geez, haven't you all seen wide nail beds before? You know? But it was shit like that. And then them going back and forth with each other, the commenters saying, oh my God, I can only imagine the lifting she must have and all this crazy shit. And so I commented nicely back to everybody. And then like the next day or whatever, a moderator had deleted all the negative comments and apologized to me and said they violated the rules and she's ashamed or whatever and for their actions. And I said, that's okay. I understand. I appreciate you. And then the next morning, I woke up to a shitload more hate. So I just took the post down. I'm done. And I left that group. I know. Yeah, they were all like saying that. First off, they thought I was wearing press-ons like that were already made. I'm like, but even though I put dips are from Revel Nail, I don't know. But then I'm like, no, they're full coverage jelly tips. I'm like, and they're like, oh my God, about lifting. I'm like, they stay on for as long as I want them to, weeks or until I'm ready to remove them, like these ones, right? I'm like, and then one of them, I said, I've been doing my own nails for 5 years. I promise they're not glued to my skin. And then somebody came back and said, I'm sorry, but those are not glued to your skin, like insisting they were. And I even commented, I'm like, I don't have that flap of skin at the cuticle that you guys have. I'm like, not all of our hands are made the same. But the reason I don't have that flap of skin is because I remove it, So I don't know what they're talking about. When I went to the salon and got my nails done, they looked the same, like at the top, they weren't different. That's just how my hands are. But it was just so awful. I will never, ever post in there again. And you see the manis that are in there, they're just average. And I thought mine was really pretty. I really liked that mani. So it did. It hurt my feelings.
As an expert, you are being paid well to do your job. And I am much more critical of experts.
Yeah, on Reddit I found Reddit when I was Googling moissanite or whatever, and like some of the answers were on Reddit, so that brought me to Reddit, and there was a moissanite Reddit, and then there's also a Kualolit Reddit, which is the jeweler I like. And then through that, I saw there was nails and dip powder nails. So I was like, oh, dip powder nails. And I looked and I answered a few people's questions, that they had. And so then I felt a little more comfortable. So I was like, all right, I'll share a mani picture. Never again. It was like I shared on the Moissanite subreddit, I shared a macro shot of my wedding rings, a macro shot. And somebody commented, well, that's what they commented. And I said, thanks for your opinion on my macro shot. I love my rings. You're not wearing them, lady. You know what I mean? I love the way they look. These two rings together. Freak, I'd go bigger. I like big pieces of jewelry, statement like pieces of jewelry like that. And with moissanite, I can have the ring of my dreams. So why shouldn't I? Right?
There are expert disclosure periods, and once the expert disclosure period is done, it stops. It's not
Cap our free edges. So we're doing layer number 2 here. This is our super shiny top coat. Cap your edges to help prevent chipping. You can take a little more time on the second layer as well. All right. So we'll just give these 2 minutes to dry. What a pretty Manny. Some dry skin over here. Isn't it pretty? I think it is.
Okay, that was clear.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jolene. Look at this one right here. It's a cyan moissanite. $16.30 on AliExpress. So it's 2 carat cyan moissanite natural with 0.4 carat moissanite stones on each side. So it's 2.8 carats. They have a champagne moissanite, but that one just like this, but it's $30. But the cyan was 16. But colored moissanite is more expensive than white moissanite. So to find it for that price is like crazy cheap. It's crazy cheap. So, and I think it's so pretty. I thought it would match my nails, and it matches my dress. And it's sparkly too. Not as much as the white, but it still sparkles. Thank you. Jolene, you're married, right?
Before you sat for your testimony, which was yesterday, correct?
Thank you, Tara. I agree. All that matters is my opinion. So it didn't bother me when people said that about like my. I don't know if you're talking about nails or ring, Tara, but it didn't bother me when she said that about my ring because it was also a macro shot. Like I was trying to show all the different facets in it. You know what I mean? How beautiful it is. A lot of times with oval stones, you'll get a bow tie just from the elongated look and the way the shadows are. It can happen in marquise cuts or any type of longer, you know what I mean, cut like that. So pear cuts sometimes even can have them, but more in like marquise and ovals. And this does not have a bow tie, which is to me just incredible. I got this ring. Well, Nick got it. He paid it $80. It's in sterling silver, well, with rhodium plating. You know what I mean? Because gold rings, if I wanted it in gold, it'd be like 380 for 10 carat, and then 14 carats more now. And then the Eternity Band is from Anu Jewel, who is Anu Club on Amazon, but Anu Jewel on AliExpress sell the same exact products for at least 50%, sometimes more than 50% less than what it is on Amazon. Same exact company. And I got the Eternity Band for $32. They're 4 millimeter stones. I thought 5 would be too big, but I wanted something that was still chunky and it's comfortable too. It doesn't hurt my pinky or my middle nail or anything. It's smooth all the way around, you know. So I love that about it. You're allergic to precious metals? All of them, Jolene? What about platinum? I need to know, are you allergic to platinum too? What do you wear for jewelry? What kind of jewelry can you wear? Stainless steel? So do you not wear any jewelry, hon? Oh, I got a little area here. Oh, there's like a little indent on my nail. You can't see it though from the side, I don't think. My nails are dry. I can see it here though, but I'd have to buff it out. I'm not going to do it. I think it'll be fine in pictures. Get some cuticle oil. Cute Manny. Love the colors. And I see on Designer Dips jojoba juice cuticle oil today. Good stuff. What to do for a sleeve? I have the dark aqua. That's too bright. Kinda, huh? This is more of a softer look. Oh, I do have this pink one from. I'll use this pink one. Oh, and I have this one. I think the pink might look better. Yeah, definitely pink. You see what I have for jewelry over here? I haven't looked in a while. What about this ring? Kind of messes with the striping tape though. That? Sure. Sure. Really, Jolene? What about, Jolene, what about silicone? They're making pure moissanite rings. There's a group buy page. It's literally a ring completely out of moissanite, all faceted and everything, and you wear it. You can get it in different colors, different stones, but it's completely made out of, it's going to be pricey, but maybe $600, I think, in the group buy. They have group buys. A subreddit for jewelry for certain things. So and different companies will do it and you get a discounted price, for the piece. So all right, guys, here is the finished mani. I really like it. I think it came out cute. I love the striping tape on the ring finger. I think it helps to, just keep it matchy, which I always like to do. I've always been a fan of striping tape, no matter how you use it, although my favorite way is just across the cuticle. Thank you guys so much for being here today. What are we going to do tomorrow? I'm not sure. If Patty wants to do Cosmic on Friday, then maybe we'll do something hypnotic tomorrow, Trying to think. I think I'm done with all the dips for CND. I think I did all of them that I have. I'll have to look, but maybe hypnotic, maybe CND. I don't know. I can't think of anything else. But. All right, you guys. Have a wonderful afternoon. All. Give the puppy a kiss, Britt. And I'll talk to the rest of you guys later. If anybody hears from Janet, tell her I said hi. Thank you all for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.